at Two Toe Farm, where I hope to share the nuances of urban homesteading and living with ducks. This is Pomelo. He is my little handy quack. He is a duck with a disability, and he is the inspiration behind Two Toe Farm.
Pomelo was just 2 days old when we got him, and at first he seemed healthy and happy, but within a few weeks we did notice something was wrong. It was late winter of 2021, and I think we were all making some pretty interesting choices. I was in the midst of my mid-COVID crisis. The first was a perm, but we're not going to get into that. I had decided to go to the plant section at a local hardware store to briefly escape Michigan winter. My husband suggested that I go to the local feed store because they had the chicks and ducklings, and I quickly said, no way, because I'm definitely going to come home with one. My lovely enabling husband responded with, so? And his fate was sealed. Now, this was no rash decision. In fact, I had always wanted ducks, and I assumed that we'd have some someday, and I just thought that would be 5 years from now. Saying that we lived in Michigan and my husband was wrapping up his PhD, I thought that maybe in a couple years. I was working full-time, going to grad school, and doing my internship all on Zoom, so I had plenty of time to snuggle with these little ducks and get a lot of attention. Not knowing the genders, we named the small one Tangerine, slightly bigger one Clementine, and the noisy tall one Pomelo, already assuming he was the male of the three. They grew at an astounding speed, and we upgraded their enclosure almost weekly. I quickly discovered my favorite duck bloggers, Tyrant Farms, and consumed everything I could about domestic ducks. We were careful to get them the right feed and the right protein content, niacin supplements, everything. And I learned that there's a lot of health challenges that come with domestic ducks, especially pecans, since they're really bred to pack on meat quickly for meat production. This makes them very susceptible to leg issues. Within a few weeks, we noticed Pomelo's feet turning inwards, and we added supplements and extra water time. They did slowly turn back out, but as he got bigger, he did have a hard time keeping his legs underneath him. Just 5 weeks after bringing him home, I brought him to my vet, where she lovingly labeled him a special needs duck, noting that he had arthritic joints and might lose his ability to walk completely. Another issue for ducks is if they get an infection on their foot, which is called bumblefoot, and can happen to chickens too. Unfortunately, Pomelo must have stepped on something sharp and had a puncture at some point, which got infected to the point where we had to get surgery. We were faced with the decision of either putting him down or having a toe amputation, which sounds ridiculous for a $5 duck. Needless to say, Pomelo had surgery to remove his toe, and that required lots of snuggles and recovery time inside. I was determined to give him a happy life, so I did try several prototypes of wheelchairs, splints, and supports for him, and ended up landing on an elastic PT band with protective leg covers to prevent irritation from the pressure. Over the next few months, his strength built up to where he only needed the band a couple days at a time, and although he walks like Yosemite Sam, he is a happy, mostly mobile 3-year-old duck none the wiser.
If you want to know more about Pomelo, feel free to drop some questions in the comments or suggestions for other videos. I can't wait to share more adventures with you in my urban homesteading, as well as taking care of ducks.